guys, welcome back to Paula's Imperfect Plans. This is Paula. On my channel, I share my planning and budgeting journeys. We are a two-income household, a family of five, living in the Midwest, and I am the sole, I guess, money manager and budgeter, and I'm just working here to get my life together in my mid-30s here. So today I am doing a setup in my budget planner for the month of July. And so I have this, it's Kit 50 from LML Stickers. I think last time I actually forgot to link her stuff down below, so I will definitely do that today. So what I'm gonna do a little differently, this is a little short, this header. So what I put on the bottom last time, I'm actually gonna put, let's see, am I gonna do that? I was just trying to decide what I was gonna do to kind of add a little bit to that top portion so you couldn't see so much of the floral here. This I think is this In Bloom? Yeah, this is the In Bloom planner design from last year. That looks a little bit better. It covers up. So here was June that just kind of left that part blank at the top. So this at least, yeah, that's not too bad. It kind of takes away from that space. It definitely, you know, the full bleed of the planner goes into the coil, but that's just kind of how it is. I'm not too picky here with my design stuff, or with my, yeah, I'm just pretty laid back. There's nothing perfect about anything in my life. I don't know why my budget planner would be any different. So, yeah, so I'm just gonna put these on here. And that was a little bit more in the coil than the other one was, which is okay. I could have whited out under there, but I didn't want a whole bunch of white out in the picture, so, or in the, just on there. That doesn't always look super great either. So, okay, that's what I have for the header. Looks fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and put the date dots on, and I'm gonna chat with you while I do it so that I won't like speed through it or whatever. So what I'm gonna do today in this budget setup is I am going to so it is still in the month of June. We're on the second out of 3 paychecks in June, but I like to feel kind of on top of what's going on and a little bit ahead of the game. Previously, when I budgeted before my channel, I had at least the paychecks set up like the basic structure of you know, when we get paid and what bills are paid with which paycheck. I had all of that set up pretty far in advance, excuse me, in my budgeting systems in the past. So I'm just doing this setup because I'm getting to the point where I'm ready to look into July paychecks and see what's coming up. And it's not there, it's not set up. Well, I mean, it's somewhat set up, but you'll see. I don't put absolutely everything on camera that I do in this book, but I do put a lot of it on camera because I really do aim to be real life, and this is really what I do. I've added the stickers for fun, and this system is new to me, but I have spent the last few years discontented with my budgeting system and trying to find, as in like just the way that I record it and where I write stuff down and what I write down and what that looks like. So finding this kind of community on here has really opened me up to new ways to do things and how to budget for more than just paying bills, right? Starting sinking funds for fun and some of the cash envelope things, beyond just the cash spending that I was already doing, and just ways to record it. So this is, you know, the fun part is the stickers, and that's the part that is new, but I'm excited to get in and really just dig into this budgeting and planning. So that's that whole thing. Again, it's Hannah with LML Stickers. She's on YouTube, and she is on Etsy is where I've ordered her stuff. But so I'm gonna go into setup. I'm doing the dashboard a little bit differently because it's only 2 paychecks as opposed to June where there were 3 paychecks, and so this page was like a budget page. So I'm gonna do like the come back and the closeout for the total categories for paycheck 1 here and paycheck 2 here. I'm gonna put July financial goals here. I don't know yet what I'm going to do with this page. So as I'm coming in here for the second paycheck, I kind of have a general list of what our expenses are. Not the second paycheck, the first paycheck. Wrong paper. Okay, so sometimes I just need to get my life together, and it's rarely together. Okay, so set that off to the side. So there will be the spots for income, usually with the first paycheck. I have a mileage reimbursement check. I will have daycare sinking fund coming back in. So this should be the first check that I anticipate having a new wage for. And so my plan at this point in time is to save kind of that difference in my net pay off the top for some projects that we're working on. And I'm budgeting that around $50. I don't know entirely yet. But so my other fixed expenses for the first paycheck are church, Gendro for garbage, daycare, life insurance, which is still kind of a question mark thing because we are hoping to get new life insurance policies and get rid of the old ones. The REC bill is on there, XM radio, workout program, car insurance, and extra daycare. Basically what I pull in from that. So those are my fixed expenses. I know that that's savings, but I'm gonna treat it like a fixed expense so it gets saved off the top, or I won't do it. Because I know myself pretty well by now. So for variable expenses, I'm gonna change how I do this. Instead of having 3 categories of 3 different people for spending cash, I'm just gonna put our spending money there. And that includes me and my husband, and now like the kids' spending money that I've started taking out. We have groceries that we do which is under variable, that is a cash envelope. We have cash for eating out. We have cash for drinks. We have cash for household, unless I have something specific budgeted to order online. We have cash for beauty. We have, so variable expense is 5-star diesel, which is gas for my husband's truck. Our Amazon subscriptions come out during this check, it's household stuff. We have a car wash, which I've now started an actual category for. And then I also have kids, which is an envelope that I have for spending that I do on my kids. I think what I'm gonna do with kids and beauty, I was kind of just working on how to do it. because, you know, kids I had kind of considered it a sinking fund, but I got it in cash and I used it like spending money for kids. So I think I'm just going to take any leftover and put it into a kids sinking fund envelope. So to have two different envelopes, really have our spending one and then have a sinking fund one, maybe. I still got to work out how to do that for sure. So that should be all of our variable expenses that I'm aware of at this time. And then we go up to sinking fund. So we have car gas, we have my husband's haircuts, we have Google storage, we have my husband's cowboy boots, I'm saving for birthdays, my passport, family fun, which is also kind of a spending envelope, but I'm gonna put holidays on here. The holidays that I'm currently stuffing for is Grandparents' Day and Halloween, because those are the only two coming up. You know, Halloween will have costumes and things. Grandparents' Day, I got an envelope for it, and it might just be, you know, a cute little sentimental thing for grandparents. I'm not sure yet. I don't usually do anything, but so for back to school, I actually upped what I was gonna do. I need to have my back to school money by, so the tax-free weekend here in Iowa is like August 4th and 5th, and so that's when I want to go get all the school supplies. I don't anticipate a lot of school supplies, but it'll be 3 backpacks, which is, you know, bigger, and then a bunch of small things. So I'm budgeting so that I will have 100 by the time. So through June, and then the 2 paychecks in July, I'll set back money for back to school. And then I will always put work meals in here as potential extra. I'll know as it gets closer, and then doing kind of the rollover and the extra stuff into the emergency fund at the end. So I'm gonna hop on over to the second paycheck to set that up. And some of this I already did put in here. So for our income, I'm just gonna put Paul and Andrew. That's our typical stuff for the second paycheck. We'll be done with dependent care flex. We'll have daycare sinking fund pulled back in. We might have some plasma or reselling, I don't know, but I'll add that as it gets closer to the paycheck. For our fixed expenses for the second paycheck, it is our HELOC, church, Netflix, Amazon Prime, 2 subscriptions there, daycare out of this budget, cell phone, internet, car registration. That's a sinking fund, but it's a fixed bill, so I put it under bills. Daycare extra, and then the house savings that I'm planning on. Actually, it might end up being garage savings, because we might do a garage project before a house project, because that's the way my life always ends up going, but that's okay. That is okay. So then going down to variable expenses, we have groceries. I'm changing this all to spending again. Eating out, pull-ups and wipes is with the second paycheck. Household, drinks, beauty. I need my kid spending envelope. And then I have the car wash one on there. I don't know if I'm missing anything or not, but I'll come back in a minute if I am. So for the second paycheck of the month, so school, I'm going to do my passport, maybe some small amount for that savings. We save for Christmas with the second paycheck. We save for LP, which is our heating cost for the winter. Car repairs, birthdays, boots, Halloween, Grandparents' Day. Clothes. I'm actually going to change this. I'm going to put haircut back in here. And then I'm just going to change this to holidays, and I will just lump all of my holidays together. I think that covers all of the Christmas hair, clothes, car repairs, LP, boots, kids, which is just rollover from that, birthday, school, tuition, car gas I don't pull out with that paycheck. So that's all I can kind of think of right now. I do always, as I say, put work meals on here as a potential extra, and then my emergency fund that takes kind of my leftover, my rollover at the end to help move that back. It's mid-June, I'm hoping, so we should have some plasma coming in by that point. If my husband is able to successfully donate, we will have some more. That's kind of my general setup. All right, so let's do this. $7.48 is Amazon, $10.69 is Netflix, $200 is church. Daycare out of my budget is $300. Cell phone is $200. Internet, I'm still budgeting $0. Car registration is $75. Our daycare extra is up for grabs. $50 for house savings. The HELOC will know as we get closer. 1660 is 132 because I was doing 12 for the kids. Kids envelope gets 20, eating out would get 60, pull-ups and wipes I usually budget 60, households will get 30, drinks 50, beauty, that'll be about time for another pedicure, so 50, car washes are 20, groceries sit right at 280. It's always 50 for Christmas unless I decide to increase it. I'd like to be doing 50 for LP and 50 for car repairs, 20 for birthdays, 20 for clothes, 20 for boots, 5 towards haircuts, 10 towards holidays, and 5 towards passport. So that's like what I would hope that it is. I will come in here and do math, obviously, as it gets closer and we see what kind of budgeting things we are working with. So that's, I usually throw in 50 for work meals and don't always use it. So if I go back to the July 14th check, I can do some setting up of that as well while we're here. So church, we're at 200, Gendro is 83, daycare is 320 out of the budget, life insurance is 138.54 currently, REC, I budget 300, the air conditioning has been running, so that's probably gonna go up for the summer months. XM radio is 648, body is 15, car insurance is 270, and extra daycare is still a question as it gets closer. Spending is 132, groceries is 280, eating out is 60, drinks it's usually 50, household I'm up to 30, beauty we'll put in 30, 5-star diesel hoping for 100, Amazon subs at 100, car wash at 20, and kids at 20. Coming up to sinking funds again. I'll just put that in as it gets closer. Well, car gas, I need to up it. I'd like to put 400 in. Haircuts 5, Google is 2, boots is 20, birthdays is 20, passport is 5, and family fun is 20, 30 for school, and I'm gonna do 10 for the 2 holidays that we're saving for. So that's kind of how I lay this out. I don't know how it's gonna work. I need to be able to start putting more away for car gas because I've kind of been relying on my mileage check, which is fine, but it's summer and we're just driving a little bit more. And so my mileage check saved up for 2 months doesn't quite pay the gas bill, which is okay because, you know, that's a reimbursement. So some money should be coming from my budget to cover gas, but I just want to make sure that I'm getting enough put in there. So that is something that I do have to look at the next couple paychecks here in June and then going into July. That's going to be important. So, yeah, so that's what I have currently for my July setup. I have my expense tracker all ready to go. What I decided to do, so I didn't actually have this one. Okay, so expense tracker and expense tracker, 2 pages of that. And then I made myself a cash breakdown sheet since in the month of July, I won't need all of these pages just for the budgets because it's only a 2 paycheck month. I took this page, which I should have put in a different spot, but I had already done the expense tracker here. So this is where I'm gonna track all my cash for this paycheck and then all the transfers I have to make for sinking funds to and from. And then, so going into the July 28th budget, expense tracker, and then this will be the cash breakdown and sinking funds page. And then on the back, I did, on the last page, credit card transactions. So, you know, split it in half. So this is the amount, what it was for, a check mark when I send it to the credit card, and a check mark when it's posted to the card and through the bank account, because I'm treating my credit card like a debit card. When I set up the next month, after I get this done, I will do, you know, the paycheck page on this side, and then I will put this cash breakdown sinking fund transfer page right here so I can see all that, you know, kind of in one view, and then I will have the 2 pages of expense tracking. But I didn't think about putting this page in until after I had kind of started setting this up and got the expense tracker in there. So that's why it's that way. But that's how it will be, I think, going into August. But so far, yeah, I already have it set up, paycheck and that. I just, sometimes when I get bored, I sit down and I like draw the lines and stuff to get that stuff started. So that is what I have for my July setup here. I did a little bit of changes in how I'm tracking the cash expenses here, or tracking all the expenses here, including cash. And that's giving me a little bit of a headache of how to appropriately track our cash spending. For the cash spending that I'm tracking, I track groceries when I look at the envelope or when I get a receipt. But I do nothing with tracking my husband's spending, but I would like to track my own spending because I need accountability on my spending. So I'm still kind of working out because it looks different. When I'm looking at the expense trackers, I don't track the cash on there because that's really just like a transaction log of my bank account. Where this is tracking the cash spending, and so I've changed some of the categories and what they look like on here, right? That's my spending cash. That's the beauty spending cash, because those are cash envelopes that I spend. That's kids, but there's kids cash, and there's, you know, just kids that I swipe the card for. And then, you know, I have groceries in here. If I get groceries, great, then I track it, and if I don't get the receipt or whatever for that, then it's fine. So yeah, that is what I have going on for July. Wanted to come in and do a July setup a little early because I do like to flip forward and be like, what do I have coming up? Is there, or I'll get a notification that, oh, there's a field trip for daycare on July 17th. You need to bring $20. And so I'll pop in and I'll write field trip on here, and as a reminder to me when I'm budgeting that I need to put that in my budget. So yeah, that's what my July looks like. Thanks for tuning in. Give the video a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing if you want to come along and join me on this journey of trying to get my financial life and just kind of life in general together. And hope to see you next time. Bye.